Are you wondering how you could legally move to France from the US if you don't already have a French job or a French spouse?
We're going to give you 2 different ways to move legally long-term and how to determine if one of these might be a good option for you. Plus, some resources at the end for a little bit of inspiration.
Hi, I'm Raina.
I'm Jason.
We're Baguette Bound, an American family of 3 who moved from the US to the Southwest French countryside in 2022. We talk about moving, adjusting, and enjoying life in France.
So the first question is, are you retired or still working? We're going to give an option for each of these situations.
Right, so hang in there if the first one's not you. For both of these, though, you are going to need your American passport or US passport. So if you don't have one, stop what you're doing and go fill out that application right now. We'll wait.
Okay, now, if you're retired, you may qualify for the long stay visitor visa. This visa is easy to apply for and approval is pretty straightforward if you tick the boxes.
What are the boxes?
Okay, the biggest requirement for this one, for the long stay visitor visa, is to just show proof that you're financially able to support yourself in France without working.
Pretty straightforward.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, we need numbers, Jason.
Right now, as of November 2024, this means that you have 1,426 euros per month in retirement income, which at the current exchange rate is just over 1,500 US dollars per month. Or you can always show this as a 12-month lump sum total sitting in a financial account.
The next box you're going to need to check for this visa is to buy an international health coverage policy for 1 year with coverage of at least $30,000 in medical costs and repatriation to the US. Now, do not panic. These plans are much less expensive than what we Americans are used to paying for a regular US medical policy. Especially if you check these European providers, a plan like this on average usually runs around $1,000 to $3,000 for the entire year, depending on the benefits of the policy that you might choose.
Okay, next up, you'll need to secure housing, a place to live, for at least the first few weeks or months after you arrive. Proof of this housing for your visa application could be an Airbnb receipt. It could be a long-term apartment rental contract or proof that you own a home. This could even be a letter from a person living in France attesting that you will be living with them while you're here. This proof doesn't even need to be for the entire first year.
As long as your finances meet the criteria, these visas are pretty rarely denied for US passport holders, so you can click that Travelocity button with some confidence.
Right. One question we do get about this visa, especially from retirees, is that they've heard that tax rates can be very high in France, and they don't know if they can afford to live here because of that.
Yeah, real concern.
Absolutely. This is where U.S. citizens are a bit lucky because the United States and France go way, way back as good friends.
Yay!
These 2 countries have a tax treaty that specifies exactly how Americans are taxed if they're living in France. And there's some really good news here. If your income sources are coming from U.S. retirement accounts, then they are taxed as U.S. income, not as French income. Those French tax rates don't apply, even if you're a French tax resident. This might mean that you have to file both a French and U.S. tax return, but you'll only pay taxes in one place. And if it's U.S. income, you'll only pay taxes in the U.S., just like you're probably doing right now.
Yeah, this is a really special and important carve-out to know about for retirement income in particular. And it's great for everyone in this arrangement because retirees bring money and economic activity into France while not needing to take a job from someone who already lives here. So win-win. Now, you will want to check with a tax professional for your specific situation, of course. But if you're a U.S. citizen planning to live off retirement accounts in France, chances are the tax situation might be better than you thought.
Yeah, good news. Now, what if you're still working? What's your visa option here?
Right. The Profession Libérale Visa is a fantastic option for those who are willing to either move an existing business or set up a small service-based business in France. This was the path that worked for us because I already ran a coaching and consulting business in the US before we ever actually even considered moving to France. So, to get approval for this visa, just like the previous visa, you're going to need your US passport, You're going to need to show that you have a place to live.
But the big item here is that you're going to have to show the French government a well-constructed business plan that gives evidence that your business can generate at least the equivalent of the current French gross minimum wage, which right now, as of November 2024, is 1,802 euros per month. And with the current exchange rate, that's just under 2,000 US dollars a month. So if you have an existing business that you might be able to bring over, proving this income in your visa application might be as simple as including existing contracts, invoices, or bank account statements as part of your business plan.
Right, that's a lot of what we provided. Now, if you're planning to start a business in France, the business plan is going to need to convince the French government that you have a viable plan to be able to achieve that monthly French minimum wage probably by around of the end of the first year when you're going to need to ask for a renewal. So this might include showing how you're qualified to run this business based on your previous experience or education, how you'll market it, projections for revenue. You are pretty much pitching the French government here.
Absolutely. And this is, think of anything that shows the French government that you know how to make this business successful.
Right.
That's what you need to include in this application.
Yeah.
It's also a really good idea to show in the application that you have additional financial resources to support yourself and the business while it's getting up and started. Think of like bank statements or anything showing that you have some savings or money set aside.
Now, if you were thinking to yourself, how would I do this? I do not already have a business. This isn't actually as intimidating as you might imagine. Think about if you already have or can learn any skills to build a freelance business. Think about things that you can do anywhere like graphic design, copywriting, online consulting or coaching, online tutoring. Or maybe you have a skill that you could get a business set up here in France. Things like teaching piano or yoga, or maybe vacation property management. The possibilities are literally endless. And for more ideas, if you need some inspiration, check out this download from our friend Valerie. It is super helpful.
To make a move abroad, there are a million things to consider, besides just getting here legally. But this is definitely the first step you have to tackle.
Yeah, gotta open the gate this way. So if you are just now thinking about moving to France and what it could be like for you, you may want to check out some of our other videos on how we made the decision to do that and a bit about what our daily life is like here. Until then, thanks for watching.
A bientôt.
See you soon.